I've been selling crack since like the 5th grade. Bobby Shmurda, hot. If you ain't know, Bobby Shmurda basically started the Brooklyn drill sound and brought a whole new wave to New York. But part of what made his bars so cold was the fact that he was really in the streets before blowing up. In the song Hot, he drops the bar, I've been selling crack since like the 5th grade. It was one of the hottest lines in the whole song and inspired a lot of memes. And Bobby claims it was all facts. In an interview with The Village Voice back in 2014, Bobby said, I was chilling with older kids. In school, I was always bad. I was either in the suspension room or with the deans in them, and they was talking to me all day. I was one of those kids. When I leave school, I was hanging with the older dudes. I was hard-headed. A lot of people try to tell me to stay out of it, but I wanted to do it myself. It was fun money. Like, I could go buy $100 of weed, shoes, without asking anybody. He also said in other interviews that he had a lot of bros who was like 4 or 5 years older than him, and he was always around them. So when they jumped off the porch around 14 or 15, he was right there with them at just 10 years old. One of his brothers, Javice Pollard, also got caught up in the indictment that would get him locked up for 7 years. So it pretty much runs in the family. But Bobby kept it solid, did his time, and now he's a free man. But he ain't the only rapper who hit the streets before high school. This next rapper got sent to juvie in 7th grade after bringing a gun to school. 7th grade, I got caught with a pistol, sent me to Pantherville. 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, no heart. 21 Savage gotta be one of the most respected rappers today. Aside from being a genuine street dude who really lives what he raps, he's also done a lot for his hood. But 21 ain't always been so positive. Coming up in the streets of Atlanta, he was a menace from day one and ain't take shit from no one, even in middle school. On the song No Heart from his first mixtape Savage Mode with Metro Boomin, he raps, 7th grade, I got caught with a pistol, sent me to Pantherville. 21 says he really got expelled in 7th grade for bringing a gun to school. So he got sent to the DeKalb Regional Youth Development Center, aka Pantherville. In an interview with Hip Hop's Revival, he explained that a kid in school was trying to bully him, so he came back with a pistol, a deuce 5 to be exact. The kid ended up snitching on 21, and not only was he kicked out of that school, he also got banned from every other school in the county, so they brought him straight to Pantherville. They called his mama up and asked if she would come pick him up, and she said no, because she wanted to teach him a lesson. So he stayed in Panthersville for like a month, then returned to regular school. But he later got kicked out again and just ended up dropping out for good in 9th grade. But look, you know 21 ain't the only one who was in the streets as a youngin'. This next artist raps about how he and another rapper hit licks together before they got famous. Remember days me and X hitting licks. Mask The Slump God, faucet failure. Mask The Slump God was one of the biggest artists to blow up from Florida in the late 2010s. He and his boy XXXTentacion was leading the wave and putting Florida on the map. But before they blew up, he and X ran around the streets together and broke into houses to get money. Ski and X first met in juvie back in 2014. X was facing a robbery charge and also a gun charge, and Ski was just in there for some weed. They both had a history of robbing houses, so after they met, they started hitting licks together. X was already making music at that point, but Ski wasn't. X encouraged him to freestyle, and this is when they first started to collab. So when they got out, they ran the streets together, building a music career while hitting licks and doing whatever they had to do to make some studio money. Around that time, they formed the group Members Only and collab with other artists from Florida. They would drop Members Only, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and start blowing up on SoundCloud. X then dropped the track Look At Me in 2016, which slowly started going viral the following year, and the rest is history. But that whole movement all started when X and Ski first met in juvie and planned their next big lick. He got done like kebab. It went out his chest and came out his back. No Hook, featuring Active Gang, Suspect Active Gang, Ab Sav, Work Rate, Broad Day Active Gang, and 60 End Gang. 156, also known as End Gang, are a UK drill gang from North Hope, an area in West London. Popular rappers who are members include Nito NB and Mad Max. They cool with gangs like 12 Anti, and 12 World, and Shepherd's Bush, and they beef with gangs like 1011 and Rainer's Lane. Active Gang is another gang from the Agar Grove Estate in the northwest borough of London. They mostly a Somali gang, and they cool with gangs like FSG and NRB, and they beef with Queens Crescent, Cumbo, and Peckwater. Their main rappers include Suspect, Broad Day, Too Smokey, aka Rocky, and T-Scam. In this bar, Suspect raps about the murder of a dude from Camden named Alex Smith, aka Culprit. Culprit was an active member of the 51st Gang Alliance, which has members from Cumbo, Peckwater, and Queens Crescent. Their main ops are Active Gang and other sets they ally with. On August 12, 2019, Culprit got stabbed to death by a rival gang at just 16 years old. A group of like 6 dudes from Active Gang was out hunting for ops when they saw Culprit and a bunch of dudes he was with. They hopped out their cars, chased him down, and stabbed him multiple times. He damn near died instantly. When police arrived, they say he got stabbed at least 2 times, but the one that killed him went through his chest and all the way out the other side of his back. CCTV footage led police right to the killers. A dude named Arif Bayomi was arrested for the killing and got life in prison. Bayomi got stabbed by members of 51st back in 2017, and prosecutors say Culprit's murder was payback. Another man named Yusuf got sentenced to 34 months for helping Bayomi after the fact when he burned 2 of the cars using the attack to get rid of the evidence. Police are still looking for 4 other suspects involved in the murder, but so far, they ain't made no other arrests. But UK rappers ain't the only ones out here doing drills. This next artist raps about how he got shot, but then was right back to the streets. Chef G flows, featuring Sleepy Hollow. I got shot, I ain't I just manned up. Chef G and Sleepy Hollow are 2 Brooklyn drill rappers from the A-Tray Gangsta Crips or the Moving Gang. Coming up on the wild streets of Flatbush, Brooklyn, Chef and Sleepy had to learn how to adapt to their environment. In an interview with Hip Hop DX, Chef said that he and Sleepy actually met when he and his crew tried to jump him, but decided not to after Sleepy stood his ground. Chef said it was like 50 of us, and he's by himself walking around the block, and we started screaming at him. He dead ass stopped and turned around. So I was like, yo, wait, I like him. I think this kid on some different shit. After that, they started seeing each other around the hood, and they got tight. But growing up, Sleepy was always in and out of trouble. He first got locked up on a weed charge and spent about 3 weeks in juvie. After that, he started getting deeper into the streets and started hanging with Chef G and other A-Trays. But what do you know? This later led to Sleepy Hollow getting shot. In February 2017, hanging out around East 55th Street near Lenox Road in East Flatbush, a Honda Accord slid past and started letting off shots, hitting Sleepy in the leg. Rohan Levy, a 15-year-old who was chilling with Sleepy, ended up getting shot in the head and died. Police later arrested 17-year-old Zidon Clark for the murder. Authorities said they believe Clark was a rival gang member trying to get Sleepy and hit Rohan by mistake. But Sleepy Hollow made a full recovery and was back on the streets in no time. Then Chef G dropped his hit track No Suburban just a few months later, and they would both continue to go viral. Now this next rapper, who unexpectedly killed himself earlier this year, talks about losing his brother to the streets and his uncle to prison. Lil Loaded, Block Baby, my brother in the ground, skeleton and bones, and my uncle doing life. He ain't never coming home. Lil Loaded was a rapper from Dallas, Texas, who took his own life in May 2021. He first blew up with the track Block Baby, which went viral back in 2019. On the song, Lil Loaded talks about some struggles he went through before blowing up. In an interview with Genius, Lil Loaded broke the lyrics down. He explained how his uncle, Big Mike, which is his pop's brother, is serving life in prison. He said where he grew up, he saw a lot of people go to prison. It made him realize people gotta do what they gotta do in the streets, but that lifestyle comes with consequences. In an interview with DJ Vlad, he opened up about his older brother getting killed when he was just 15. He said his brother was a big role model for him growing up and the one who actually got him into the streets. He ain't speak on how he died, but he did say that after it happened was when he really started turning up. His brother was 8 years older than him and was the man of the house. So after he got killed, Loaded took up that responsibility and helped out his moms and other siblings. Plus, he really wanted revenge for his brother's murder. But after getting shot at a few times, he quickly learned that he had to move smarter. He ended up dropping his first track, Block Baby, in 2019, which really went viral, all because of a Polish YouTuber, Tommy Craze, who reviewed music videos with 0 views. So it seemed like Lil Loaded's life was about to change for the better. But sadly, the money and fame couldn't solve all his problems. And in May 2021, the rapper ended his own life by shooting himself in the head. And it's crazy, man, because before this happened, he accidentally shot and killed his best friend and was actually supposed to be going to court for it a few days later. RIP Lil Loaded. Now this next rapper threw shots at his enemy, who went viral for getting slapped by a rival gang member back in 2012. He got slapped and went viral. Why y'all believe the dude? Coach the Ghost and Envy Kane, Wu K, Part 2. Coach the Ghost and Envy Kane are 2 GD rappers from Brooklyn who rep the Chos. The Chos are known for the deadly gang war with the Wolves, another Brooklyn gang with both Blood and Crip sets. Coach the Ghost is one of the most well-known Cho rappers, along with 22 G's. In this bar, he's taking shots at Pop Smoke, RIP, who was the most famous rapper in Brooklyn at the time. This song came out when Pop was still alive and was first blowing up with his track Welcome to the Party. In this bar, Coach is downplaying Pop's street cred by bringing up an embarrassing moment the rapper had before blowing up. In 2012, a video went viral on Worldstar showing a then unknown Pop Smoke getting slapped by another dude on the block and then just walking away. I guess the other dudes was Bloods and they was pressing him about his ties to the Crips. They tell him to throw up his set and he does, but then the dudes start clowning him. And this leads to Pop getting smacked in the face by two of the dudes before just walking away. Now, he was pretty young and by far outnumbered, but either way, it was embarrassing for him, especially since it went viral. And when Pop started blowing up as a rapper, fans put two and two together and realized he was the kid from the video getting slapped. But hey, Pop eventually got his get back at a convenience store years later when he ran up on one of the dudes who slapped him. The guy clearly ain't had the same energy now that he was the one who was outnumbered, so Pop got his revenge. But that ain't never stopped his enemies from using it to diss him, at least when he was still alive. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke.